Tres Leches, the queen of all cakes. I mean, I don't know what else more there is to say. It's that good. So let's get into making one of my favorite cakes of all time. Alright, so today we are making Tres Leches, a simple yet delicious cake. Seriously, it's just a sponge cake that's soaked in milk. But it's delicious milk, and it's the fact that it's soaked in 3 different types of milk, because that's what the Tres Leches part comes from. Tres Leches means 3 milks. It's soaked in sweetened condensed milk, it's soaked in evaporated milk, and it's soaked in heavy whipping cream, 3 different dairies. But it comes together so greatly, and it's the fact we're also going to pair it with a nice Dulce De Leche. Yes, that's right, we're going to make Dulce De Leche to go with this cake. And Dulce De Leche might seem like a true challenge or nightmare to make, but I promise you it's easy. It's just something that takes time to do. So let's go ahead and get into preparing our ingredients. With this cake, we're going to go ahead and start off with our dried ingredients, which is all-purpose flour, baking powder, and salt. Give this a good whisk. Now let's get together the wet ingredients for the Tres Leches cake, which is essentially just a good sponge cake. And so to make a good sponge cake, you're going to take 6 room temperature eggs. They have to be room temperature. Crack them. And all you're doing is simply separating the yolk from the egg white. You can do it this way. Just make sure not to puncture the egg yolk or get any egg yolk inside the egg whites, but that's all you're doing. Just separating the 2. Boom. And you're gonna do that for 6 room temperature eggs. Okay, both the egg whites and the yolks are split, and also if the yolks tend to break, it's okay. That's okay, it is not that serious. You know, hey, it is okay if they split as long as you separated the egg whites from the yolks. Now make sure you save the egg whites because we are gonna whip these up into a meringue that's gonna get folded into the batter. But now let's go ahead and get to working on the eggs and the sugar. Now in a good countertop mixer, or if you don't have that, you can use a good old hand mixer, or if you want to use that elbow grease, you can use your hand. You're gonna take your egg yolks, pour them in, take a cup of sugar, dump that in, and now using the powder attachment, we're just gonna beat this until it becomes stringy and ribbony. Once it's been beat together, this is how it's gonna look. Nice, stringy, and ribbony. And now at this moment, you're gonna mix in half a cup of milk and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract or vanilla bean paste. Your boy done upgraded, I'm using vanilla bean paste now. So yeah, you can consider me big leagues. And now just give that a good mix in. With the milk and vanilla worked in, let's go ahead and start adding in our dry. Lock it and start mixing that in. Flour all mixed in. Let's go ahead and take off this dough hook. Using a spatula, scrape the sides of the bowl, make sure there ain't no clumps or lumps of anything. In a separate bowl, I'm gonna pour our cake batter. I'm only doing this so I can use the same bowl to beat the egg whites. So yes, I know I need to invest in another mixing bowl. I'll buy it eventually. Now let's create our meringue. So we're gonna pour in the egg whites. Using the whisk attachment, lock it down, and we're gonna beat this until peaks start to form, and while it is beating in, we're gonna slowly add in sugar as well. When it starts frothing and turning white, you slowly add in sugar. You take your time adding it in a little bit at a time until you add in a 1/4 cup of sugar. And once done, you're gonna do it until slightly stiff peaks form. Now, secret trick that you can do is so that you don't overbeat your egg whites. Take off the whisk attachment and go in and finish it by hand. That way you can scrape up any sugar that's still at the bottom or on the sides, and you're getting everything. Take your cake batter and slowly scoop out the meringue into it. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna start folding in the meringue. Not stirring, you're folding it in. You don't want to deflate the meringue. And that's all you're doing. You're folding it in until all white is gone. With the meringue folded in, this is how it's gonna look. A pale yellow, you don't want to overmix this. You are just folding it in. So now let's go ahead and put this into our prepared baking dish. Everyone should know by now how I like to grease my cake pans using some good old shortening. Spread that on in. Put some flour in and just spread that on about. Prepare a pan, take your cake mixture and just pour it on in. We are using a half pan or 9x13 pan. So now you can use almost any pan you want to make this. A smaller square pan, round pan, a casserole dish. Just make sure you grease it properly and you will coat it. Use your spatula to help spread it out. Small taps for air bubbles. Now we're gonna put this in the 350-degree oven for 25 to 30 minutes or until the toothpick inserted comes out clean. And at the end of the timer, it should come out looking like this. Golden brown, done and delicious. But now this has to cool down, so we're gonna let this cool completely. But while this is cooling, let's get to working on our milk that we're gonna soak this in. 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Just get that all up in there. 1 can of evaporated milk. Half a cup of heavy whipping cream. Half a teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. And now you're just gonna give this a good stir. What you're doing is you're breaking up that sweetened condensed milk. In the same cake pan that the cake was in, take a fork and you're just gonna start jabbing the mess out the cake. Just jab, make sure you're not breaking it up too much. What you're doing is you are allowing pockets and holes for the milk mixture to make it inside the cake. With the cake stabbed up, now take your milk mixture and just start pouring it on the cake. And it might seem like it might be too much at first, but best believe it's not. This cake is gonna soak it all up. Okay, we got a good amount poured in, and we're gonna reserve a little bit of the milk mixture for the thumbnail. Now we're gonna cover this up with plastic wrap and we're gonna let this sit in the fridge for 1 hour. So preferably it's best to let this do it overnight. But if you wanna go ahead and enjoy this, give this at least 1 to 2 hours. But at minimum, 6 hours to overnight is best for it. Now it's time for the most daunting part, which everyone might be nervous to do, but I promise y'all it's gonna be easy. It's just a time thing. It takes 1.5 hours. So we're gonna do 4 cups of milk, 1 cup and 1/4 cup of sugar. Give that a good stir. And now you're gonna bring this to a boil on medium heat. And once it comes to a boil, you turn it down to a simmer. And you gotta be over here stirring for 1.5 hours. What you're doing is you're trying to allow the milk solids to brown and the sugar to caramelize within the milk. So it takes 1.5 hours because milk burns easily. So I'll see y'all in 1.5 hours from now. And after simmering for 1.5 hours, you see where we are at. It's a nice sandy color. I just needed a little bit more brown, a darker brown, and we'll be there. This Dulce De Leche will be complete. Like I said, y'all, it is a patient game. You're gonna have to wait 1.5 hours plus, 1.5 to 2 hours. It just depends on your stove and how well you can control the heat. A bit of advice, during the first 40 minutes, it's not gonna seem like it's doing nothing. It's just gonna be on the stove, simmering and steaming. But within that last 40 minutes, you're gonna start seeing it. It's gonna start bubbling. It's gonna start getting active. That's when you truly gotta pay attention. Like keep it stirred. Make sure nothing is burning. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna call it right here. This is dark enough for me. Dulce De Leche is usually a little bit darker than this, but this is a shade of Dulce De Leche that you see around too. So I'm gonna call it right here. So let's go ahead and take it off the heat, and then we're gonna strain it to get rid of any solids that have cooked inside of it. Also, if you find your Dulce De Leche being a little bit too thick for you, then all you gotta do is warm up some milk or cream, believe it or not, heavy whipping cream. Warm it up and pour it into the Dulce De Leche to help it loosen up and become a little bit more runny. Now that's perfect. Now let's go ahead and strain it. And now to finish off this cake, we're gonna make a simple whipped cream. That's gonna go on top of the cake. So we are gonna take 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream, a couple tablespoons of powdered sugar, some of our vanilla bean paste, lock it in, and now just mix it. Once it's all done, lift it up. Stiff peaks should be formed. And we now have 1 whipped cream. You can just see the vanilla bean inside this whipped cream. So now let's go ahead and take out our cake. All right, with the cake that's been soaking, let's go ahead and take off this plastic wrap. And oh yeah, Oh yeah, it's done soaked up all of those tres leches milk. Okay. Oh yeah, that's soft. That's soft. Now usually with the whipped cream, you can go ahead and you can just spread this on top and call it that. But I sort of have an idea. Okay, see these 2 pieces of tres leches cake that I cut out? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim off this edge right here. Trim off these back edges. Got a plate. Gonna take 1 layer. And now in a piping bag, our vanilla bean whipped cream, we're just gonna do some simple dollops. Don't wanna do too many or too big because of the weight of the cake on top. It's gonna press out. Just sit this on top. And now we're gonna do some more dollops on top. This is just me being extra fancy, everyone. You don't gotta do it this way. And now we got our Dulce De Leche. Simply pipe some Dulce De Leche across the top of it. Dulce De Leche across the top of it. Now just take a few freshly sliced strawberries. Take a little bit of our milk mixture that we had left over and just pour it around the base of the cake. And there we have it, everyone. 1 tres leches cake with Dulce De Leche. What you think of it? I think this is some of my better work. I'm thoroughly impressed with this. So now let's go ahead and cut into this and try it out. All right, everyone, here we are at the end of the video, and here go the tres leche cake with Dulce De Leche. I'm gonna lie, I'm pretty proud of myself for this. Yeah, my creative design turned out pretty good. Now let's go ahead and bite into this cake what everyone is waiting for. Hold on. Get y'all this good bite so you can see this good piece. Yes. Yes, y'all see that? Look at how soft and moist that is. All right, let's try it. Now that is the tres leches cake that I know and love. This is why I say tres leches is the queen of cakes, because you have a cake that is super moist, super spongy, soaked in milk. Got Dulce De Leche, the vanilla bean that's just making its way through the cake. Seriously, this is probably my favorite cake besides carrot cake. You know, that's my other favorite cake. Carrot cake and tres leches cakes, my 2 favorite cakes. And also anything almost with caramel too. All right, y'all, that's it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all enjoyed my very first time making tres leches and Dulce De Leche. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this tres leches cake video. I definitely enjoyed it. It tastes good. I wish I could have it right now, but I want y'all to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications. Tell me down in the comments, do you like tres leches? Do you like Dulce De Leche? What's your favorite cake? And if you're gonna try this recipe anytime soon. Well, all right, y'all, I'm about to be out. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.